Hello everybody and welcome back yet again to another drum playthrough review. Thank you all for tuning in and stopping by. It's great to see you guys again. And for everybody who's brand new, hi and welcome. My name is Nick. I'm a drummer and a multi-instrumentalist, and we do videos like these so that way we can learn the technique of drummers who are much better than we are, analyze their technique into a nice and easy to digest form, and break that down so that way we can make ourselves much better musicians. And we're going to be checking out a drummer who is pretty darn cool. He's not necessarily the type of drummer that I normally cover, but I've followed this guy for years. I like him, and I think he's got a lot of fun stuff that we can learn from, especially just because of his experience in the industry, dude. It's crazy. Today, we're going to be checking out Harry Miree. Harry Miree is a drummer. He's a session drummer, and he's been on records from pop bands that you wouldn't even believe. He's been on tour with bands that have played stadiums, have played arena tours, known for laying down tracks for Hot Shell Ray and other types of bands like that. Harry Miree made his name known across the industry as a very reliable, very effective session drummer. He's very accurate, his playing is on point, and he can express himself in a variety of ways without having to use anything super crazy, and he's very well known for being a very comedic drummer, and I really do like the guy. So we're going to be checking out a cover that he did of a Blink-182 song known as Wildfire. Now again, this is about 6 years old as a drum cover. It's been out for a little while now, and we're going to have fun with it and check it out. And again, I think that there's a lot that we can learn from Harry Miree just because of his amount of experience that he is gained in the music industry and the amount of experience that he's gained as a live drummer in general, being able to direct the audience and really bring out the energy, because the dude can certainly do that. So without further ado, let's jump in. Let's take a look and see what he's got to show us in this video, because again, I always think there's a lot to learn from this guy.
Before we start though, I check my YouTube analytics as any good creator should, and only about 0.7% of you guys are actually subscribed to the channel. What are you guys doing with your lives? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. We do a lot of fun stuff and a lot of videos just like this on here. We're going to have a lot more fun content coming your way, so stick around. It's going to be a fun journey.
Okay. All right, well, without further ado, ladies and gents, we're going to get into the video. So let's check out Wildfire by Blink-182, covered by Harry Miree. It starts right out. Dudes. That's the other thing. He says dude a lot. You may notice something about him too. He's got an inverted drum setup with a remote hi-hat stand. That's because he is about ergonomics. He's got a really pretty drum kit too. Gold rims is pretty bougie. That's pretty bougie. Nice dry ride cymbal there. So like I will say, he is a drummer that is very focused on ergonomics. He's a very big proponent of doing left-handed setups, even though he's a right-handed drummer. And a lot of the stuff you'll notice that he's doing, it's all within like a certain arm's reach, so he doesn't have to stretch his arms out too far to get what he's trying to do. Saves energy that way. And that way you can come up with some really interesting combinations. The dude's an absolutely phenomenal session drummer, I'll say that for sure. Seriously. He's got the little, what is that, a 13-inch snare? 12-inch snare, maybe? That's a 13. It's like a 13-inch piccolo. But even just looking at his drumsticks, it's shoot up right where he'd be hitting the rim. That shows how consistent he is with his rim shots. But just looking at his technique, a lot of wrist technique. Very nice claves. Yeah, I enjoyed that, dude. Freaking dude-tastic right there. That's what I will say when it comes to Harry Miree. Dude-tastic. Absolutely awesome. How else can I say dude in a sentence? He comes up with more ways to say it than me. But either way, fantastic job on Harry Miree's part. I always liked Blink-182 and their drumming and all that. It's just fun to listen to music. Anyway, let's get into the review. Let's talk about it, because I do think there's a lot of things that we can learn just from this video alone, however short it may be. All right, well, Harry Miree, what can we learn from this guy? Well, first off, for starters, hand technique, a lot of wrist motion, a lot of wrist technique. You'll notice again, like with most of the other wrist players, he's keeping that gap right here between his index finger and his thumb really nice and close tight. And the reason for that is less chance of dropping a stick that way. If you have a really loose grip on your drumstick while you're doing wrist technique, the chance of that drumstick slipping out of your hands and you losing control of that is going to increase dramatically. So being able to just keep a good tight grip on that, not death grip tight, you don't want to absolutely squeeze the crap out of your drumsticks. You just want to make sure that you're keeping it nice and tight, so that way the drumstick's in your hand, it's not going anywhere. And even if you have to pick up the tempo with anything like that, it's not going to just fly out of your hand out of nowhere. It allows you to be more reliable as a drummer that way. When it comes to his foot technique, couldn't really see that too well, I'm going to be honest. Just from the angle that we were choosing, we didn't really get a dedicated foot cam or anything like that. I'm guessing more than likely that is probably full leg motion. Usually with songs like that, you're going to be doing full leg motion anyway, just because there's not really a lot of, crazy double bass chops or anything like that. Now, knowing Harry Miree, he can actually play bleed, and there's videos of him out there playing bleed. So he's definitely got the chops if he needs to be able to play some insane fast double bass. Like I said, the dude's a session drummer for a reason. He can play some insanely crazy stuff. But again, to get back to his drum setup, everything, like I said, is very ergonomically placed. He's got his drum set up backwards, and I think that's something very interesting. Having the reverse drum setup is something that I find to be very interesting for a couple of different reasons, one of which is a textile reason. It's very interesting having your drum set up where everything's really nice and tight and like right where you need it to be, and then, I really have no other way to say it other than it's a lot more ergonomical. If you're a right-handed person, generally you are going to want to be a right-handed lead. That's just going to be built into your biology. You're going to want to lead with your right hand, so having things set up so that way your right hand can lead and you don't miss notes when you're playing fills, it just makes sense. Now, of course, you can do what I did, and you started out playing right hand leads, and then you ended up having to train to make your left hand your lead and train that on purpose when you're doing certain fills. But not everybody has to do that. See, the one thing I love about Harry Miree is that he doesn't follow the rules like that. He's very much like, you know what, I'm going to set my drum kit up in a way that's going to be most ergonomic, that's going to be best for me, so that way I can be the best drummer possible. He's got everything set up right close by him, so he doesn't have to reach out too far. He doesn't have to reach, way too far to hit certain parts of his drum kit. Everything's really nice and closely placed together, so that way he can get to it when he needs to, and it's just a really quick wrist flick away. So how can we learn from this guy? Think about defying the rules just a little bit, especially when it comes to your drum setup. What are things that you can change about your drum setup that will make your playing a lot easier? I know for me personally, I know you can't really see my drum kit from over there, but it's the giant 8-piece that you've seen in some of the other videos that I've done. One problem that I always had, I didn't like having my ride cymbal directly on the side right here, where I had to reach over and really strain and look like this when I'm playing blast beats. And so I changed my drum setup a little bit. I moved my ride cymbal a little bit more to the center, so that way I didn't have to stretch my shoulder out so much. I could keep everything really nice and loosely and all within one small area. Because just remember, there's no perfect way to set up a drum kit. That's all going to be dependent entirely on what makes you feel better, what makes you play better, and what allows you to save the most amount of energy while giving the best performance and having the greatest energy. And for Harry Miree, he learned how to perfect that insanely well. Now, with all that being said, y'all, that's the end of this one today. So great job, Harry Miree. Absolutely loved it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought down below of what the playthrough was and how you liked it. I'd like to start a conversation with you. And with all that being said, y'all, that's the end of this one. So cheers, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless.